In this video, I am explaining the land acquisition portal that we developed for Sequoia Hackathon 2016. This was developed by B.N. Ramesh and Neeraja Mishra, and these are the features that it has. That is, sellers can register assets into the system and get a unique blockchain asset ID. Also, the sellers can control how they can trade the asset by setting the prices or withdrawing the asset from the auction. And the application has ability to create auction events, and the seller can submit the asset for the auction and also set the prices. If the price of the seller and the buyer matches, and also it complies with the requirement of the buyer and also the uh, government laws, then the transaction will be completed. On successful completion of the transaction, the asset will be transferred to the buyer, or if the transaction is not completed, the asset is returned to the seller. Just a minute. Okay, and anybody can verify the owner of the assets by looking at the blockchain results. Okay, so now let us look at the web portal. Okay, the portal looks like this. um, the land acquisition portal using blockchain. This is created for complying with the law that tells that those who want to buy land and large quantities of land have to get approval from 80% of the farmers, landowners, to be able to acquire land from them. So due to these restrictions, the buyer will not know in which village the farmers will be willing to sell him the land, and if he needs 1,000 acres, so he need to search all around the place to find out where he can get that land. Okay, with this portal, this problem is solved. Okay, so here we have user registration management for creating auctions, and then we have seller registration, government policy setting, and buyer registration. Okay, and then performing trade. Okay, and in the user registration, we have the normal registration, login and logout feature. Okay, and here we have creating an auction event, then to check in the blockchain if the assets are there for both the management as well as for the seller. We can see that, and I'll just show you the how to check the assets in escrow. So we have created one event, Hasan auction. Okay, and this is the address of the Hasan auction event, and we'll check what are the assets in that. Okay, here we have the Bitcoin output, the blockchain output, that shows the assets that are registered in that particular auction event, and we can look at the assets. Okay, yeah, here we got the assets, and let us see what is there in the asset. Okay, here there is a person trying to sell 100 acres, 10 acres of land, and his name is Beam, and he has described the asset description. Okay, so now similarly we can also see the assets owned by the sellers. Okay, that can be done by clicking this button. Okay, and we have the similar features as for the assets in escrow. Okay, now we'll go to seller register, and what you see here is the policy percentage that has been set, like 50% of the owner have to agree. That's what we have mentioned here. And now let us go to seller register. Let us go to buyer registration. We'll come to seller registration later. Okay, in the buyer registration, we have registered as a buyer, and okay, in this the buyer enters his details. Okay, and each of the buyer will have a address, blockchain address. Okay, we have two fields, testnet as well as mainnet. This is a prototype, we are having both of them. Okay, and in the buyer will apply for an event. For example, here Mr. Beam is going to apply for an event. Okay, Hasan auction. Okay, he will have to comply with some rules, the terms of that auction for as a buyer, and he is going to agree here. Okay, and now he has agreed, so now he can go to the buyer panel. Okay, in the buyer panel, the user can set the price that he is willing to pay for a particular property. For example, Mr. Beam is going to go to auction, and he is setting the price. Okay, let us see the price. Right now Mr. Beam has set as 100. Okay, let us say he makes it 300. Okay, he sets the price. Okay, after he sets the price, it looks like let us see, where is Beam. Okay, yeah, he has set it to 300, and here we have sellers agreeing to sell is in this color, and the seller not agreeing at this price are here, and this is the government policy limit. Okay, so there are other buyers who are bidding higher prices, like somebody is willing to give 1000, so there are no unwilling sellers, all are willing to sell here. Okay, so this thing can go to the auction, and the land can be sold to Mr. Hanmantu. Okay, so anybody can check what is the current prevailing price here. Okay, and let us see here, seller registration. In seller registration, somebody registers as a seller. Okay, by giving all the details, then the seller apply for an event. Okay, he has to apply for a particular event and agree to the terms, and the sellers will add his assets here by giving the description of the asset and all those details. Okay, and now here we have the seller applies for an event where he is going to apply, saying that I want to participate in this particular auction, and here we have a seller panel where the seller will set the price of the assets that he wants to sell. Okay, so this is all the feature, and here we have trading. Here we can start trade and complete the trading. Once you start the click on trading, whatever is matching and whichever is most appropriate, this thing that will get executed. Actually this can be made automatic, but as part of this demo we have not done that. Okay, and for this we have used nodejs and mongodb, angular.js and coloredcoin. Okay, and the problem solved is do we comply with the restrictions imposed on buyers in Land Acquisition Act 2013 of India.